how the universe works. It says, okay, everything you want, I have it here. But can you match the energy with what you want? This is what you want. This is the energy level I need, or the vibration. The vibration means your thoughts, your actions. These are the actions that require you have this. So can you embody all these actions and thoughts so that this can manifest in your mind, in your life? The cheat code to reaching your highest self is simply embodying who you are trying to become. Hi Soul Tribe, and welcome to Pheebs Limitless. This is where we show up as our most authentic selves and your soul finds its friends. I hope you've been well, guys. If you're new here, please subscribe. This is a beautiful community that you'll be part of. Yeah, so subscribe and join the tribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Thank you for following on my content. I do not take it for granted, and I hope you're learning from it. I'm going to urge you to engage me in the comments if you learn something, or if I say something that you can identify with, or do you want to add on our topics. Please let me know what you think about it in the comments. We are on our third episode. This is our third episode of our ongoing series of going back to ourselves. And today's episode is called The Cheat Code to Reaching Your Highest Version, or the highest self, faster. You know, we don't want to keep doing the same things we've been doing, or taking a lot of time to achieve who we are, because once we achieve who we are, we still will be doing the purpose that God has called us to do. So we want to start now shifting into the reality of who we talked about, who we are. We've already covered eliminating who you're not, which was, like I said last time, that was the first step into stepping to who you are. Now you've eliminated what does not identify with who you are, and now we are stepping into the reality of our greatest desires, or our calling, or what God has called us to, and what He has shown us in our souls when we looked inside. As per our first episode, we said we are going to look inside, and now we've looked inside. We know who we are, we know what we want, and we have eliminated everything that is not. So now, today, we're going to introduce the language of the universe, which is vibration, energy, vibration, and frequency. So I'm going to introduce you to a phenomenon that has been working for me, and I know you might have come across it elsewhere, but now we are going to dig deeper into it and move another step into finding who we are. I'm going to be returning to the Bible. Like I said, I am a Christian, but this channel is not just for Christians. And especially today, the topic I'm going to introduce, I think this is where science, spirituality, and all religions marry. This is where the language of the universe that understands everyone, not regardless of where they come from or what they believe in. So I am going to start with a quote from Nikola Tesla that says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, you need to start thinking in terms of energy, frequency, and vibrations. And I want to now look at how does that mean in layman's terms. How does vibration, frequency, and energy reflect on our daily lives? Because now we are looking at everything in reality now, not just in our minds, in our souls. So I'm going to start with verses from the Bible that are in line with what we are talking about. In Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We are going to talk about that. Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's something also we are going to look at. Romans chapter 12 verse 2, it says, Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And then we have Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, which says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent and praiseworthy, think about such things. And lastly, John chapter 10, verse 10 says, I came so that they may have life and have life in abundance. I'm going to start from the last verse. Since we were young, or at least most of us, we've grown up in a society which praises poverty more than it praises richness or abundance. And the reason I'm saying this is because people who have achieved so much in life or have money and success and prosperity in their homes, they are always associated with evil. Most people, maybe from where I grew up, I don't know about you, where I grew up, a lot of people will talk about the rich in terms of they are associated with Illuminati, they are associated with rituals. And my question was always, do you mean that God's people do not have richness, or is richness not associated with God? And richness is just a part of success, but I'm taking that as an example of how scarce our mindset has been shaped by the society. And if we do not liberate yourself from that, you're going to live a very miserable life, and you're not going to align into what God has created for you in the universe. And that exactly is the reason why I started my series with telling you to go inside yourself and find out what works for you, what is real for you, and what has God promised you, and who are you in the inside. And I reminded you that God is in you, and that is something I want you to carry throughout this series, because I'm going to keep referring to it. You have to remember that whatever you need is inside you, because God who created you is inside you, and you are a host of him. So the reason I've started with that verse is for you to first liberate yourself from any kind of mindset that has been put in when you are growing up, or even when you are as old as you are right now, that success is sinful or is not associated with God. God came for us to have life and have it in abundance. We need to live life at the highest version. We have to experience life in the highest way we want to. Everything we desire, God has approved it. As long as it comes from your heart, and as long as you have cultivated it from a point of being in conjunction with God, or you've gotten it by meditating on, or consulting God on it, that thing, God has approved it. The Bible has talked about so much about your thoughts and your mind and transformation of the mind, and around the mind. And that is now the link between Christianity, how God has instructed us now to manifest what he has given us through the mind, which is exactly in relation to energy, frequency, and vibrations. And I'm going to explain it in a very simple term. You see, there are three planes of existence that we live in. There's the physical plane, there's the mental plane, and there's a spiritual plane. The physical is what already we are experiencing and we can see, and our actions. The mental is the link between the physical and the spiritual. And that is where I am going to link now what God is talking about, transformation of the mind, and what Nikola Tesla was talking about, energy, vibration, and frequency. Whatever you need is in the spirit. Whatever you need in the spirit, or what God has put in you, and what you deserve, and what you have meditated and found out, you have seen your purpose. This is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I need to achieve that purpose, and this is what I need to make me exactly as happy as I would want to be. Whether that means money for you, whether that means love, whether that means success, happiness, a good job, whether it means you living in the purpose of God that you've been created to become. That and what you are experiencing in your reality, the link between those two is the mind. And as I was saying, the mind is indirect. You are in direct control of your mind in terms of what you choose to think. And I don't know how well to explain this, but you need to know that the thoughts that come to you are not exactly yours until you choose to retain them. You are a witness that a lot of thoughts pass through your mind, and sometimes you wonder where those thoughts have come from. But then you take those thoughts to be yours and you cling to all of them, and that is why your mind is always so exhausted, and sometimes you find yourself depressed and you cannot even tell where that has come from, because you are accepting everything that is coming in your thoughts instead of controlling them. And when God is talking about the transformation of the mind in Romans, where he talks about, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may be able to test and approve the God's will. What he is saying, in this world there's so much happening, and it's happening in our own eyes, whether it's on social media, whether it's when you're going on the road, whether it's when you are growing up and a lot of people were telling you everything you experienced. So many people in primary school, in the world, in high school, in campus, you've experienced a lot of things. Some things did not happen to your life, but you've seen them happening. People have said words that are not true, but you've taken them as true. And some of them were the first time you ever heard about a concept. Whether that means God, whether that means money, whether that means spirituality, you had, this is the first time you ever heard of it, and it stuck to you as true, because you could not differentiate what is true and what is not true. And when the Bible talks about transformation of the mind, God is calling us to align our thoughts with who he is, or what he has called us to be. And the reason I'm talking about the mind a lot is because that is the exact driver of your actions. You might think you're doing a certain thing because you've chosen to, but it's because of the repetition of the thoughts you've been having about that. If you start to think about someone so much, and like you concentrate on thinking about someone so much, you start thinking that you've fallen in love with them. But it's because you're choosing your thoughts to keep directing them to directing your thoughts and energy to them. And that shows you how powerful your mind can be in manifesting your reality from your mind. And when we're talking about vibration and frequency, it's simply aligning your thoughts with who you are, with who you believe you are, instead of waiting for it to just happen. Instead of saying that one day I will become a speaker, a public speaker. One day I am going to be a TED Talk speaker. One day I am going to change lives. Embody what you want and let reality catch up, because reality is is controlled by your thoughts and your actions. Your thoughts control your action, and your thoughts are controlled by what you believe in. And that is why you have to go inside and transform what you believe, in terms of asking yourself, who am I when naked from everything else? Like, strip yourself of everything you've ever had and start consulting God. If you've not understood that, you can go back to the first episode and you're going to learn more about it. And it's simply, I think frequency, energy, and vibration has really been talked about so much, and sometimes it can be a complicated topic, but it's not as complicated. Vibration means doing the things that match the kind of energy you're looking for. If you're looking for the energy of a rich person, how do rich people think? Start thinking that way. How if I want to be a speaker of the word of God, how is a person who is trying to become, or who is you are already, like we said in the first episode, everything you're looking towards is in you. So how do you manifest it in the present moment, or in the physical realm, the physical plane? Is simply take what you're trying to be, and be it, in terms of how you mind, how you move, how you the actions, and the actions are going to be a direct reflection of what you're thinking. And that is why the Bible talks about, as a man thinketh, so is he. Control your mind, and that is going to be your superpower. And again, what Nikola Tesla said about energy is also a reflection from the Bible, when God talks about faith is a substance of things hoped for, and evidence of things not seen. So you are already living in the evidence that something is going to happen. If, for example, you want to be rich, everyone wants to be rich, you start already acting rich because you believe, you have so much faith, you believe, I do not need any other convincing that this is my reality. I can already start moving in that direction, or I can start embodying how rich people work. What are the places those people go? How is their mindset? How are they talking to people? How do they relate with God? How is their routine? How does their routine look like? What kinds of books do they read? And then start embodying that, both in your mind and in your reality, in terms of your actions. And I'm going to tell you this: depression is a real thing, but it's a very simple thing to cure. Depression comes from refusing to filter your thoughts and letting every other thought that passes through your mind become your reality. Controlling your mind sometimes is difficult, because you can see how your reality is and what evidence you've already had from your past experiences, and you start projecting that into the future or into your present, without knowing the reason why that past happened is because of what you are thinking and how you are acting in that reality, which made you have those experiences. So instead of focusing on that, why don't you turn things around and start thinking now like the person you're trying to become? And this means not just saying it in the mind. And last episode, I remember I talked about how manifestation, sometimes people misuse manifestation and think that, not manifestation, affirmations. People misuse affirmations and think just because you spoke about something and you called yourself a rich person, you are automatically a rich person. But now, you getting to the affirmations that you tell yourself has to like, you are affirming who you are in the spirit, in your physical reality. But you cannot cheat. The language of the universe is so simple, and you cannot lie to it. You cannot lie to the spirit that I am rich and expect it to automatically work. It expects you to match the kind of energy the kind of energy that that person, or that rich person you're saying you are, to match that. You see, like, I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, when I was talking about, I've not been in a relationship for so long, and I always said I will want to be in a relationship when I turn 25. And I remember her asking me, like, you said you're going to be in a relationship when you turn 25. You're not yet 25. You are already 25. I'm sorry. You said you're going to be in a relationship when you turn 25. You are already past 25. Why not? And I told them, you see, the reason why I wanted to be in a relationship, once I already know myself, and my lobe frontal lobe has fully developed, is because I want to choose someone, not because of my emotions, but someone who matches where I want to be. And right now, I know the kind of person I feel matches where I'm going. Cannot choose someone who is like I am right now. So I have to first get to the energy level of someone who would choose. Okay, I am confusing myself. If, for example, you want to be married or you want to have a relationship with someone who is a certain way, you cannot, who is like here, you cannot be here and expect them to lower themselves to a certain point so that you can be together. You're the one who is supposed to rise to where they are so that you can match, and like now you are on the same frequency, you are in the same frequency. The same thing with how the universe works. It says, okay, everything you want, I have it here, but can you match the energy with what you want? This is what you want. This is the energy level I need, or the vibration. The vibration means your thoughts, your actions. These are the actions that require you, contains of people who have this. So can you embody all these actions and thoughts so that this can manifest in your mind, in your life? And that is why I said when you were born, you had everything you need, and you're not time away from your highest version. You are thoughts and frequencies away from that. You need to keep rising and rising and rising. And as you do that, involve God. I remember there's a short that I posted, and I had recorded that video a long time ago, like 2 months ago. I don't remember exactly, but watch it. It's I was talking about how you don't need a journey to go back to God. You need a journey to find your highest self in terms of aligning yourself to the the kind of person you are trying to become. But when you're doing that, have God in your life, because God does not require you to go through any process to reach to him. He's simply your father. All you need to do is turn to him and accept him as your Lord and Savior, and accept, like, allow him to hold your hand as you walk this journey so that he can reveal to you who you truly are and make the journey easier for you. Simple. So that's our episode today. I still feel like I have left out a lot of things, but the cheat code to reaching your highest self is simply embodying who you are trying to become. Embody that. And if you're a lady, you're trying to be her. Instead of working towards becoming her, embody her. Embody everything that you've said about her. If she's a rich girl, start walking like a rich girl. If she's someone who is disciplined with time, she goes to the gym, she has all this, start small, start with what you have and start moving with the energy of her and become her. Embody who you're trying to become. Embody the highest version of yourself, and reality will catch up with you. It will catch up eventually. I feel like I have not gotten the perfect vocabulary, but I think I have explained it as simple as I need to. And if there's anything you can add, because how it is in my mind is, how it is in my mind is not the way I've put it exactly. I wish there's someone who can maybe explain better. I am looking forward to having a co-host, so that we can discuss them more and more. We can discuss it more and more. So that is our episode for today. I hope you've learned something, and I hope you subscribe so that we can continue moving together. Our next episodes will be now doing one by one into transforming yourself, or the kinds of energies you need to keep embodying so that you can become the person God called you to be. So now, my assignment for you today is for you to write down everything that the highest version of you is, and then start embodying one by one by one by one. And eventually you're going to be happy that you did, and you're going to be the highest version of yourself, and you're going to start living in the reality of the highest version of yourself. Also, write it down on the comment section what I've not covered, or what you would want me to cover or incorporate in my sessions. Have a wonderful week ahead. Bye.